I find this aspect when it comes to Polkadot very unique, and let me explain what I'm talking about. Because not too long ago, Polkadot made a post on X, and it said that Silencio Network maps noise pollution data and Polkadot secures it. Now, why do I think this is unique? It's because even though nothing I say is financial advice, if we take a look at noise pollution, I think some other projects out there may not necessarily find it something they really want to believe in. Sometimes we see projects out there being focused on AI, NFTs, blockchain gaming, whatever the case may be. But this is sometimes a market that is, I don't see being focused too much on, especially when it comes to this space. So when I see even something like Polkadot securing a project, much like Silencio, which is quite essentially focused on noise pollution, this is something that I am very excited for because I think it kind of shows the diversity of Polkadot and how it's not just this random project that is, people don't really care about in a sense. Because let's face it, when it comes to Polkadot, I don't think it is the most interesting of all time, project type of vibe to me. Because of course it's not like a meme coin or something like that or something, like a project that is this or that. But I think in terms of what it's actually trying to do, I like the fundamentals because let's think about what Polkadot is even trying to attempt to do in the first place. It is aiming to connect blockchains together. It's focused on something called interoperability. Now, let me explain what lacking interoperability is because if let's say we take a look at many networks out there, many blockchains, because a lot of them that we see as of right now, due to the fact that again, many of them are independent of one another, they cannot freely send data and value to each other. As a result, in that case, they would lack interoperability. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum is a very popular example when it comes to this. Again, both independent of one another, cannot freely send data and value to each other, which of course I think is not ideal, especially, if we want to see the space grow, if we want to see blockchain technology grow. I would like to see, of course, amazing interoperability. So something like Polkadot, I don't think it's a bad project. And let's say Dot native token were to go to the price of, let's say, $50, that's around an 11x from here. Now, even though nothing I say again is financial advice, some people out there may be thinking, 11x, who cares about this? Take a look at this microcap, take a look at this other project, whatever the case may be. But what I like about DOT, again, Polkadot's native token, is that the market cap is not too overly massive where it becomes a little bit like a dinosaur. Like, for instance, if Bitcoin were to go to the price of 300 grand, that's slightly, under 3x from here. We take a look at Ethereum going to the price of 10 grand, that's slightly over 3x from here. But really, I don't want to focus on that as of right now. Like, for instance, Bitcoin recently hit a new all time high. Is that time for me to just randomly believe all into it? I would not do that. Again, I'm not speaking on anyone's behalf, but I would not want to do that personally. But when I take a look at something like DOT, again, it's not a microcap, so I don't feel a little bit like, sort of worried about it all the time. But then at the same time, it doesn't kind of have this dinosaur status in a sense where the market cap is way too massive, where it maybe can't really do much anymore. It doesn't really feel that way to me at least. So when I see $50 around 11x from here, I'm totally aware that sometimes, it may not hypothetically be, kind of this outrageous, figure, right? But then I don't mind because even though I want to believe in other projects like meme coins and whatnot, I still want to use DOT as one of my foundational pieces, I would say, in my portfolio because I like Polkadot. I like the whole idea behind it. And let's say DOT were to go again to the price of $50, market cap, considering current circulating supply, would be around $80 billion, which is kind of shocking to see because if you take a look at Dogecoin reached over 80 billion back in 2021, and that was in terms of market cap. I mean, this is just my mentality. Now, let's not forget, if we think about Polkadot, sometimes people also usually think about Kusama. Some of my friends out there that believe in Polkadot, they kind of completely ignore Kusama in some cases, but I don't know why I would ignore it because Kusama is basically kind of like a canary network to Polkadot. And then what this kind of basically does is that usually, let's say, projects that wish to launch on Polkadot, they're going to usually launch on Kusama first. And then if maybe they like it, they later move on to, in some cases, Polkadot. Not every project does this, though, in my opinion. Like, for instance, we take a look at Moonriver, which is on Kusama. So I don't think of it as necessarily, being this type of like, bad thing when it comes to Polkadot. If anything, I think it's actually kind of like a funneling system a little bit because allegedly When it comes to Kusama, it's usually cheaper to rent building space on Kusama when compared to Polkadot, and also it's usually also far easier to make changes on when compared to Polkadot. So I think Kusama is very unique. I think it's very interesting, and I think it creates this very, I think, just cool and interesting kind of, I would say, relationship with Polkadot. So I don't think Polkadot is a bad project. I get it when people like to say, oh, Dot is getting outperformed by some meme coins and whatnot. Well, I get it. The price hasn't been doing the best. I'm aware of that. But the way I take a look at it is that, sure, I want to believe in other fun projects too, but I want to use Dot as one of my foundational pieces as of right now because I just like the concept behind Polkadot. I like the idea. I'm a big fan, but all I gotta do as of right now is really just stay patient because beyond that, I cannot control anything else. So all I can do right now is just stay patient. But with the way kind of altcoins are heading as of right now, if let's say we see it continuing to pick on, let's say up until near the end of this year, or even until the end of this year, maybe to sometime in Q1 of next year, who knows, whatever the case may be. If let's say there's a moment in which it does that, I'm not talking about just this light recovery, but an actual 2021 type of vibe, right? In terms of the altcoin season. Let's say we do see something like that, I theoretically want to be prepared. And that is just by dollar cost averaging for me, holding and just waiting. But in the meantime, I'm just going to stay patient and feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.